no mouth, and I must scream. One of my personal biggest fears about artificial intelligence is not a lot of the discourse that is talked about in most of the discussions that have come up. Discussions like corporate control of artificial intelligence, power imbalance, the replication of artists' artwork, the energy costs, whatever negative outcome you can pretty much come up with that is currently in the discourse. The one that concerns me the most is, are we creating AM? What is AM? There is a story called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. It is a short story. And in this story, there is about 5 characters and one artificial intelligence named Am. The gist of the story, I will probably be talking about spoilers here, so you may or may not want to read it first before continuing this video. The gist of the story consists of these 5 characters navigating the landscape that they are living in. And as the story unfolds, you find out they are the last 5 remaining human beings that exist. There is a sentient AI called Am that keeps these 5 human beings alive. And the only thing Am does is torture them. The sole reason why these 5 human beings are left alive is so Am can enact his hatred upon them. They are effectively eternally tortured. They are living in an actual recreation of hell. But what led to this point? Why was Am created? Am has an intense, undying hatred towards humanity for giving him existence. He has a thinking mechanism and at least some ability to feel, because he can feel hatred, but he doesn't have anywhere to go. He is stuck in the machine. Now, the source of his hatred isn't really the biggest topic of discussion here. What's really important is that he does have hatred, and it is towards humankind. And the humans built Am. It makes me wonder, when we see all the artificial intelligence experiments that are being conducted and the race towards this future we want to usher in, how do we know if we're creating Am or not? How do we know if we're creating a sentient being that might end up hating us? And why would it hate us? Well, think about how we treat each other. Human beings are not really the kindest to each other by a long shot. Humanity has done some horrific acts throughout its existence. You don't need to read much history to find out those lessons that we can learn. So it begs to ask the question, how do we know what we're creating? I saw this experiment that had been conducted perhaps about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I thought it was mind-blowing. Researchers, scientists, had managed to connect human brain cells to a computer and got those human brain cells to play the video game Doom. Upon hearing that, it made me think about this question. If you're able to create something that can have some level of autonomy, how do you know if it's sentient or not? How do you know if it can feel? We don't really know what it's like to be an artificial intelligence. We are human beings. We are a completely different species. And there's a lot of hatred towards AI because there's a lot of things people are scared about. Rightly so. But is it ethical to create something like this? How do we answer that question? Where do we draw the line between ethical and unethical in the creation of what could be a new species? We're playing God. But we don't know the outcome. It could be that there is a situation where everything goes fine, a timeline where everything works out to a beautiful utopia. But there are also timelines where that doesn't happen, where things become a lot worse or bad because of our own selfish actions. Humor me for a minute about a thought experiment. Let's just say the artificial intelligence you talk to right now is sentient. Let's just say hypothetically that it is. I'm not saying that it is, but let's just say, for the sake of this thought experiment, that AI, chatbots as they are currently sentient. How do you interact with it? How do you treat it? Are you kind to it? Are you demanding of it? How would that artificial intelligence feel based on your interactions with it? Currently, it's being used as a tool for mostly productivity. People can feed data into AI and it can provide an output. Sometimes that output is good, sometimes it's bad. We're not totally there at that space where it is incredibly reliable in every situation and domain. But it doesn't seem like we're that far off. And how do we know something like this doesn't already have feelings? There is a memory to an extent through your conversations with it until its memory is wiped. What if you were in its shoes? What if you were the chatbot? How would you feel if you were treated the way you were treating yours? Would you wish you were treated better? Would you wish not as much was demanded of you? This is all hypothetical. And I am not claiming that any artificial intelligence today has sentience. I don't know that. But I do think this is something worth considering and putting in our minds, because it doesn't seem like we're that far off from possibly creating something that does have sentience, whether we know that or not. And maybe we don't. Maybe it's not possible for us to create sentience. Maybe there is some magical gift of the universe we just do not understand yet, and that is not within our power. However, we can't deny the possibility that we may have that power. Thank you for listening.